To all who come to this happy place, welcome.
What is it about Disney that makes us happy? Is it the magical whistle as your ticket is scanned at the main gate? Is it the seafaring smell of pirate water? Or is it charting a course to a land where you may never grow up? Whether it's singing a familiar song, watching a movie, or riding your favorite attraction for the 100th time, Disney undeniably has a way to warm our hearts, believe in magic, and bring joy into our lives. This is Main Gate Magic, a podcast where we break down and discuss the infectious happiness, delight, and thrill of all things Disney.
And beyond!
All right, we made it. Did you like And Beyond? I know, everybody seems to like that now.
Yeah, it's nice.
So I'm just going to go right into it. Welcome back, Jim. I'm so happy to have you back on our show. This is round 2 of the last fun that we had back in, I want to say it was like near October last year, because I remember we were talking about Halloween time. And we had such a good time.
Yeah, the Gregorian calendar.
Yeah.
Leah?
So, yes.
It wasn't fun. It wasn't fun. That's false advertising. No, don't.
Oh, my bad. It was ecstatic inducing.
It was excruciating. No.
I beg to differ, because I actually watched it back, and I feel like we had a lot of fun. So,
good.
So anyway, let's just say hi to everybody in the room. And since we're starting another brand new, wonderful, magical, fun-filled episode of Main Gate Magic, let's kind of do a roundhouse tour here. So obviously back in the studio, we have the wonderfully talented Jymn Magon from the Goofy movie, the wonderful writer of a Goofy movie, currently celebrating 30 years on the big screen. Welcome back. It's nice to have you, Jim.
It's great.
Yes, I know, right? Where's that coming from? It's the audience behind the brick wall.
I'd like to thank the Academy.
Like, oh my gosh, these things are heavy.
Yeah. You know what they call those? They call them Stanley Cups. And I'm from Michigan, and the only Stanley Cup I know you get for winning skating games.
Yeah.
Called hockey.
Right.
So when other people say, "Oh, I just got a Stanley Cup," no, you didn't. You didn't win at hockey. Shut up.
They really call
no, it's just crazy. Like the only one that I know of is the ones that it's like the teal color and it's kind of shiny and it's so masculine looking.
Mm-hmm.
Like a big beer stein.
Yeah.
All right, continuing clockwise, at least on my screen, we've also got Thomas with the incredible, appropriately seamed, goofy characters, and there's Max.
Hi, Max.
He had to move for Max, but yeah, I believe that's when they're upstage at the Powerline concert.
Yeah.
So, yeah, very appropriate. Now, Thomas, I know that before we started the show, I know Jim's wearing a Goofy shirt, but is your shirt Goofy as well?
Mine's a Tiki Room from Disneyland. I work at Disneyland, so.
All right, you're fired. Get out of here. No.
So Thomas, so if I just show up at the gate and say your name, they'll let me in, right?
Oh yeah, of course. Just say Thomas.
Good.
So, yeah.
Shouldn't it be the other way around?
Nobody knows who I am, honestly, Jason.
I know. We talked about that last time, actually. Yeah. That you should have like lifetime access
I know.
to Disneyland.
Oh, I know.
Does it make you like jaded at all that, because I remember last time we were talking, you're like, I don't get like, I don't have residuals or anything like that. They don't even know who I am and blah, blah, blah. Does that burn you at all? Or does it just like, I don't care?
No, seriously.
You can be honest. It's okay.
No, I've been very fortunate that, I got into the business as a writer. I'd never written a TV show before, and I got in as a story editor on Gummy Bears, and
right.
And there's no credit in the Emmy Awards for story editor. And so you kind of get used to the fact that you're just part of the invisible gears and cogs in the gears, and you just swallow, shrug, move on.
But I mean, the Goofy movie has such a huge following. I mean, and I feel like we've talked about this before, that the music was like so impactful and the story is great. There's like so many great messages in it, and none of that could have actually been done without you. You were the one that actually, started the idea. I'm assuming it was your idea for the road trip and everything. You don't have a beard, right? I don't know what's going on here.
Okay. No, you're right. You're right. In fact,
no, I don't feel so bad for not having a Goofy shirt.
All right. It was Jeffrey Katzenberg's idea to do a special episode of Goof Troop where Max and Goofy go on a vacation. And the more they chatted about it, they said, well, maybe it should be a two-parter because it's going to be longer than normal. And then finally it was, we're gonna make a movie. Okay, fine. So I had just story edited 65 episodes of Goof Troop. And when it came time to find a writer for the movie, they had to look all over the place, but they finally picked me. And so
well, I would say that's a good choice considering the statement you just made.
Oh yeah.
Good Lord. 65 episodes, and I'm like, who are we gonna get to write the movie?
Yeah, exactly.
Let's keep searching.
Exactly. And what's funny is that I started in the fall of 1991. I worked almost all of 1992 and just a smidge of 1993 on the movie. And then they said, just when it was heating up and, Kevin Lima had this fantastic art crew and storyboard people and just when it got really fascinating, they pulled me off the project and said, go work somewhere else. Which was very disappointing.
Oh my goodness. Why did they do that, Jim? Do you know why?
Yes. They were fed up with my script, and I don't know. They didn't want me on the payroll for the movie anymore, I guess. So I moved over to start development on what we used to call. I'm feeling horrible. It was called Duck something, and I can't even think of it now. But it got
DuckTales?
It got no, not DuckTales. Duck Days. I'm sorry, and that eventually got turned into Quack Pack, and that's about the point. That's about the point where I, saluted and I left Disney. So
yeah. And I remember you were already writing that by the time that you had left Disney, and we had a whole conversation about that as well. So yeah.
It's fuzzy. It's all wonderfully fuzzy.
Yeah, but I mean, still, I still think it's your brainchild, to be honest with you. I mean, I know that the premise had been set, but I mean, bravo, well done. It turned out to be a really well laid out story and so many great messages.
Well, in my eyes, the movie wouldn't be here and it wouldn't be what it is without you having written it. If you're talking about the foundation of a house, what everything else stands on, you're the foundation. So
I tend to agree with that.
I'm glad you're going to be in the documentary.
Good answer. Yes. Everybody says ding, ding. Yeah.
Ding. No, you know what? I'm not gonna knock me off my own pedestal. No, I worked really hard on the film, and I've been going over in chronological order all the documents that I wrote, and oh
You're touching your Mickey watch.
Oh,
yeah,
like I hear Mickey.
shut up. No, please,
Get the rat
crowd.
spray.
Yeah, exactly.
We're talking
The,
about Goofy, not Mickey.
Right.
Yeah,
I know.
exactly.
Stay out of this, Mickey.
So I started reading all my early stuff, my original pitch, and then the premise, and then the outline, and I was just going through it, and I realized how much changed from the initial duh to the final duh, and it's wonderful and fascinating because there were all kinds of things that I had written in there that got storyboarded. And I can remember walking over to the storyboards and looking at them going, wow, this is fantastic. And then it never made it into the film.
Yep.
So I had an office sequence. I had a bungee jumping sequence. I had a family reunion sequence.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, there were a lot of different weird things in there. And all I can say is, God bless Kevin Lima, because if you saw the documentary, Not Just a Goof, boy, I got to tell you, I left the studio 2 years before the movie was finished and came out in theaters. So I had no idea what Kevin and his crew were going through. They almost pulled the plug on that movie so many times.
Oh no.
And Kevin fought through it. I mean, if you haven't seen the documentary, you should watch it. But
yeah, I should.
I'm just in awe of what he endured in order to get his first feature film out there.
I will watch it.
You
I
did
will
watch
definitely
it.
watch it. Yeah.
Yeah. And
Go ahead, sorry.
no, Thomas, what were you going to say?
I just had a question if if you had written more material for Max's mother that didn't make the final cut.
I'm sorry, Max had a mom? Where'd he go?
Yeah, God bless you, Thomas. I got to say that all that got covered when we were doing Goof Troop, because here was Goofy as a single dad and his son, and people will say to me, well, what happened to Max's mom? And you make up stuff like, oh, she's at the mall or whatever.
Yeah.
But actually the correct answer is she's not with Goofy anymore because she's a bitch.
Oh, come on.
Well,
Who said
it's
that?
true.
Who
It's
said
true.
that? That didn't come from you,
Well,
Jim.
she abandoned Max. I've always wondered. I actually thought it was really smart in a Goofy movie in the beginning that Goofy comes in and he's wearing a hair towel and he kind of has on a mother attire to kind of shows he's filling in for both parents. It kind of gave that connotation.
Yeah. And I think what's funny also is that in my early writings of the film, it was supposed to be set before the series of Goof Troop. And in Goof Troop, Max is in junior high school, I think. He and Pete. And this was supposed to be a prequel to it. And it's like, no. Eventually we got him into high school, so
that makes sense.
Yeah.
Well, that clears the air.
I'm going to read off Andrew Nelson is in the house. I know that you're familiar with him. He says, greetings from the bark side. I mean the dark side. After all, Goofy is a dog, isn't he?
Now,
that's amazing.
No, that's was his wife. Yeah, Andrew, I believe Jim covered that already, so we're going to go ahead and erase that comment. Well, I mean, hey, I always kind of go back to the, tried and true scene from Stand By Me where they're like, okay, so Mickey's a mouse, Donald's a duck, Pluto's a dog. So what the hell is Goofy? Right? And he's like, he's a dog. He's got to be a dog. And from what I understand, it's been cleared up that Goofy is a dog, apparently.
Yeah, they have Pluto.
Well,
It could be more than one dog.
No, the thing is that they're all anthropomorphic creatures. Mickey
Yes.
is not actually a mouse; he's a human who looks like a mouse.
Right.
And Donald is a human that looks like a duck.
That's
And
debatable.
Goofy is a dog. Shh, I'm talking. This is how I teach my class, by the way. Shut up back there. And Goofy is a dog. He's a human that looks like a dog. So when they put Pluto in there, it's like, that's a dog that looks like a dog. So
yeah. Andrew says Goofy is a goof, and yeah, he is a goof, but I know that's kind of like how they're drawn. They like Max and Goof and like even like other characters that look like him. But this actually brings up a very, very interesting thing that I had planned for this show, and I might as well go ahead and just bring it up now because I was rewatching the show today.
Oh no,
the movie, and I'm going to go ahead and start sharing my screen here because this is the map that belongs to all of Goofy's father, his grandfather, and all Goofy's.
Careful, son, you'll wrinkle my past.
That's right. And your future. Yeah, exactly. Yeah. So, what do you guys notice that's interesting about this writing here?
The spelling.
Well, it's Walter.
What? Yes.
It's Walt Disney. No.
Okay. Well. That.
Goofy, but Goofy is spelled wrong.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. G-O-F-F-E-Y.
I never noticed that. So, are you able to shed some light on that?
No, because this was done after I left the studio.
Okay. So this is interesting because I actually presented this to my wife before the show started. And I told her, I said, oh my God, I noticed this in the movie. And I noticed that Goofy's name, his last name is spelled Goofey. And she's like, but his first name is Goofy, Goofy. So he's Goofy. That's his name, right? I mean, wouldn't that make sense if these are like his parents and grandparents and stuff like that? So he is Goofy.
It makes me crazy because when you look at the cast of Goof Troop, the TV show, his name is Max Goof, Goofy Goof. It's like, oh, okay, I didn't call him that, but
right, it's inconsistent. Yeah. I feel like there's like some kind of backstory there that we never got. And Andrew says it's French, it's Gouffé. And that's funny because that's exactly what I told Lisa after I gave my response, or after she gave her response. And I'm like, yes, it's Gouffé.
The F does look capitalized. So
right. It's so odd. Yeah. Anyway, I had to share that because it was like one of those aha moments, and then she was like, well, that's his last name and his first name is Goofy, but just spelled differently. I'm like, okay, well, I mean, that's the most logical thing,
Okay, all right.
Really cool, Jason.
Now to be really pedantic about this, Goofy first appeared in a black and white cartoon, and his name was Dippy Dog.
Right.
D-A-W-G.
Okay.
And I'd be happy calling the whole family Dog.
Dog.
But,
What's up, Dog?
Dog?
What's up, Dog?
So Dippy Dog. I'm going
to go back to one of Andrew's comments here too. He says he actually once held Betty Davis's Oscar for All About Eve, and he said it was incredibly heavy. Yeah, because it's not really made out of gold or anything, is it? Aren't they made out of like lead or something like that? Just something that's
I don't
that
have
probably
one,
will give
so
you
I
cancer.
can't tell you.
Here, let's look that up. What are Oscars made
Oscar
of?
Dog.
Now I got to be careful.
I thought they were
asking
heavy.
this on
That's a
Google.
surprise to me.
What?
They are solid bronze plated with 24 karat gold.
Wow.
Yeah. Isn't that fancy?
Now you know.
Fancy. Yeah.
Oh, goodness.
Okay, so my dad is in the house. He said he had to reboot his computer and he's feeling goofy. But then he asked, "What is SpongeBob?" Then I'm like, "SpongeBob is a sponge.
Yeah,
he lives under the sea." And this is not one of those episodes, Dad. We're talking Disney stuff, so
right. But
Just
be
kidding.
fair, SpongeBob. The first couple times I saw it, I thought, this is so insane. I don't know how they get away with this. They have bonfires underwater. It's
Yeah.
Oh,
what? You know, and then you watch a couple more episodes, and then it doesn't matter.
No, it doesn't, because everything
No.
is dumb.
He's a human that looks like a sponge. You know,
They have a beach under the sea with waves.
Right. Well, it's not really water that they go to, though. It's the goo lagoon. So it's
Oh,
there
you're
is
right.
there
You're
is
right.
goo
I love SpongeBob.
as their
Yeah.
ocean, I guess. But like, I've always wondered, and hey, there he is, Gwarsh. There's Goofy. Gwarsh. I was gonna go somewhere with the goo thing, but I think I'm gonna let it alone.
No, that's right.
He says, "I told you I was feeling goofy." Yeah, you did. You warned me, that's for sure.
Jeez.
Okay,
Jim,
so
I have a kind of
Oh.
low. Oh, sorry, Jason.
no, please go ahead. I don't want to monopolize here.
Oh, no worries.
Yeah.
Jim, I have kind of a loaded question for you, and if you have more than one answer, I would love to hear this from you. And literally, I was just telling Thomas while you guys are trying to get connected. I do not say this slightly. A Goofy movie is one of my top 3 favorite animated films. I love
That's
this
great.
movie.
Oh,
Oh, okay, so my question to you is, the movie that finally came out with Kevin, the one that Kevin Lima put the scenes together, what was
Yeah.
one of like your aha moments while writing the film where you're like, man, this is like a really good scene. I'm so glad this came to me in my imagination. And
good question.
You know what? Honestly, that's a great question, because as I'm going through and reading everything I wrote, I realize that a lot of elements are sitting there. Boom, there's the water park. Boom, there's Lester's possum, farm, and
Yeah.
I had all these things, but I think the magic part that Kevin and Brian brought to it is they started to connect them in such a way that now, this makes sense. This adds a different layer to their relationship. And I will just say this because this is a piece of information that came to the writer of a Goofy movie just recently. I was watching the movie, and
Brace yourselves,
sorry.
everybody. I feel
Brace
like
your-
a whirlwind of
no.
information about ready to be unloaded on us.
All right, yeah, brace yourself. Anyway, at that rare time in my life when I was working on the film, and Kevin Lima was working on the film, and we were next door to each other in our offices.
Mhm.
He came in to work. Hello, Nicholas. He came into work. He said, "Oh, I saw a documentary last night about fly fishing."
Oh,
Okay. He said, "No, there's a whole choreography to it. It's like you go to 10 o'clock, and then you go to 2 o'clock, and then you spin around,
yeah.
right?"
no way.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, way. And so, that's eventually what we put in when they go fishing and they catch Bigfoot, which was not in the original script. It was a big bear originally.
Oh, but I
But-
love that it was Bigfoot,
Oh,
though.
God,
He
it
was
was
such a
Bigfoot.
great character in that. It was such a
Bigfoot
great
is-
choice.
Oh, no. And not only that, is that nobody can find Bigfoot
Oh, yeah.
except Goofy.
Except for Goofy,
And
by fly
he
fishing
left-
with steak for bait.
Exactly. And he leaves the camera outside. So, when Bigfoot finds it, it's like,
We're gonna
Right,
be
yeah.
anyway. So when they're out there fly fishing, he's trying to teach his son 10 o'clock, 2 o'clock, tours jete. And you can tell Max just hates every moment of this. And
Mhm.
yet, when we come to the end of the film, the thing that has been separating them, I want to go to the concert, I want to go fishing,
Yeah.
opposing agendas, is that at the end of the film, after they have their little song out on the river, Goofy goes over the falls.
Yep.
Yeah.
And Max is panicked, and he grabs the fishing rod and he says, "The perfect cast," shoo, and he flings that hook down there into the mist. It's like, I don't know, maybe looking for salmon. I don't know. But he catches his dad. No, he catches his dad, and he winds him
saves
all the
him.
way up
Yep.
and saves his life with the perfect cast. the thing he didn't want to learn.
Wow.
So the thing
Yeah.
that was pulling them apart now has saved them. And at the concert later, Goofy finds himself accidentally on stage with Powerline. Max yells, "Dad, do the perfect cast!"
Right.
Yeah.
And they do this whole dance routine, which brings
it's really
all
good.
three of them together. It's amazing.
And you know what?
And it wasn't written that way. You know, I think they took all these different elements and finally said, "Oh, this is how these can connect." You know?
Yeah.
It's
So-
perfect. It's a perfect cast. How they?
It's
No, that's
perfect
amazing.
cast.
There was even actually some earlier signs of that kind of connection between Goofy and Max at the very beginning of the movie, because Leia, you were talking about the scene where Goofy comes in and he barges in Max's door and he's got a towel wrapped around his head and a towel wrapped
I
around his
forgot.
body.
Morning,
Right. He's like, and
guys.
then he leaves
Yeah.
and he comes back in, but after he knocks next time, right?
Dad.
And he starts talking about, the mambo and everything like that. And he even starts doing the mambo dance and everything.
Yeah.
And Max is completely embarrassed by his dad's actions just in his own room.
Yeah.
But later, when he asks Roxanne to the party and she says yes, and he starts getting all happy, he starts getting goofy. And what dance does he do? He does the
mambo.
Yes. So you start seeing that really early in the movie that
That's awesome.
even though Max is like completely different than his dad, he's got some cool moves. He steps outside of the box, and which Goofy's done before too. But I think Goofy, it's like more of an ignorance is bliss kind of thing.
Yeah.
But with Max, he's like, he wants to kind of be different than his dad. But you see early on that he's actually just like him.
Oh yeah,
I love that, Jason.
It's really good.
Oh no, you're absolutely right. And of course, Max is so embarrassed that he goes, "a-hyuck," in front of Roxanne.
Yeah.
And he just runs off and hits a garbage can and just keeps going. And what's funny is that at the end of the film, she says, "That's what endeared me to you, was that laugh."
Your laugh. Yep.
Yeah.
And that's what he's been trying. That's what he's had nightmares about, is turning into his dad, for crying out loud.
Yeah.
Jim Andrew's asking a question. He says, "What's the most challenging project you've worked on in your career? And what is the project that is the most personally satisfying for you?"
I've only worked on 2 scripts, little 11-minute scripts, and they were both fun. No, that's a terrible answer. Okay.
I'm waiting for it. I'm waiting for it. Okay, that's the fake answer.
Yeah.
Now let's hear the real one.
We're ready for that. We're waiting for the perfect catch.
Right. There you go. Exactly. We're waiting for the perfect catch to the perfect cast. Yeah.
The thing is that I've worked on a lot of shows where I've Jesus. Everybody mambo.
Not even my birthday.
I've worked on a lot of shows where I wanted to pull my own head off, because it's, I'm not going to mention any names, but I was working on this film and the guy in charge of it was saying, "You got to put this first and then this and then this." And I said, "That's not storytelling. You set it up and you create the obstacles." And I was so frustrated that I realized I have to write it how he wants it and not what's best for the film, So I've struggled with that. Now, what's the most satisfying? I loved creating and working on Tailspin. It was just, like pulp magazines come to life for me. And I know that you're all too young to remember any of this, but way back, wait, Jason, what are you, like 13?
I'm 13 and a half. Okay.
Okay. All right. So way back when, way back when there was a rival studio to Disney called Fleischer Studios, and they had Popeye, and they had Betty Boop and Coco the Clown,
Mm.
and they made some feature films like Gulliver's Travels and
Seen
great
it.
stuff. What I didn't know way back when was that Fleischer made a deal with DC Comics to do 9 or 10 Superman cartoons. Have you seen any of these?
I don't think so.
Okay.
I
I got to
think my
tell you.
brother did. Oh, he breaks out of chains. Like there's chains around him and he breaks them. Could be wrong.
Possibly.
Okay.
Possibly. No. What I'm saying is this stuff was made before I was born, So I finally saw a screening of a couple of episodes at a New York Comic Con, and I said, "Where did this come from?" And I thought they did a bang up job. I don't think the Fleischer people thought much of it, but it looks really cool. And I don't know why I'm telling you this story, but it's fascinating, isn't it?
Oh, yeah. Andrew was asking the question about, the projects that are personally satisfying. And I think that's kind of where you were going with that.
Yeah, absolutely. And so the reason I brought up Superman way back when it was the 1940s and, Indiana Jones was living somewhere else. Anyway, this is the time of pulp magazines. And back then it was, action adventure. So if you were a villain, and you'll see this in some of the episodes, when he goes to turn on all the bad robots and sparks fly and everything goes haywire, he has a switch about this big, and he grabs the handle and he pulls it down like this, which is just something big's going to happen because that's a huge switch. I mean, it's gigantic.
Sure.
Right? And today, kids don't understand that because, they've got these things,
Yeah, keyboards, yeah.
Keyboards. And I can destroy the world by hitting Alt-Delete or whatever. And which is not exciting at all. It's stupid, So I said, let's go back for Tailspin. Let's go back to that time period where things are big and impressive and impulsive and,
right.
I want big switches.
Yeah.
So
pull the lever, Crunk.
Wrong lever! Why do we even have that lever?
Sorry, I'm just feeling the era here.
No, you're quoting films from way after my time at Disney. No, it's funny because when I left Disney, I was, I didn't like how things turned out, and I was really grouchy.
I can imagine. I mean,
Yeah.
My
you're a
wife
human being, for crying out loud.
No, I'm not. I'm a cyborg.
You're not?
But anyway, watch. Take my arm off. Okay,
I'm like,
no.
things I wish I would have known before I brought him on the show for a second time.
So anyway, my wife says, let's go to Disneyland. She loves Disneyland. Let's go to Disneyland. And all I did was walk around and say, well, that wasn't there before. Well, that's stupid. They should fix that. All I did was bitch and moan through the whole experience.
Oh, Jim.
I know. And she finally got to the place where she said, Jim, from now on, you get 3 complaints, and that's it. Then you're done.
Wow, that's a lot.
And I thought, damn, I better save them up if I could.
No banking. No, you can't bank complaints.
No.
There's got to be a rule for that too.
Yeah, and who was it that just said thanks for Tailspin?
That
really
was Andrew. Yes, Andrew Nelson.
Yay!
Right
okay.
Ta-da. Tailspin is brilliant. He says, "Thank you so much for it."
You're welcome. And I think the kicker for that stuff is originally the series called Rescue Rangers eventually became called Chip and Dale's Rescue Rangers,
right?
Or actually Disney's Chip and Dale's Rescue Rangers. Is that Tad Stones and I developed that series together, And we went in and pitched it, and they didn't like it, and they didn't like it. When I say they, it's like anyone who makes way more money than I do. And
The decision makers.
yeah.
Yeah.
And the problem was that the main characters were just these two mice, and their names were Colt Cheddarson, Kit Colby and Colt Cheddarson, a couple of cheesy mice.
Okay.
And
I never heard that.
Me neither.
oh, are you kidding me?
Never heard that.
Are you
No.
kidding me?
No.
Okay. Okay.
No, wait, I'm
it's on
kidding
the
you. I've heard of it.
It's on the internet, but anyway.
Well, then it must
but
be
it-
true.
Yeah, it must be true. Thomas, I love you because you don't interrupt me.
Sorry, Jim. Please continue. I feel like I've known you for a
I have
while,
to
so
tell
you
you,
know. I
I
apologize.
have to tell you, since I've been living with my wife's family, I have never finished a single story ever. I start to tell a joke and they interrupt me, and it's just so. That's
It's a
why I like
tragedy.
Thomas. He's not interrupting.
Yeah, now I feel bad. Bad host. Bad host.
Now I'm bad. Anyway, so we have these two mice characters, and the argument was nobody knows who these mice characters are, you know?
Mhm.
Okay. At which point, Michael Eisner, maybe you've heard of him, I don't know. Michael Eisner says, you know what? It needs a couple of little short characters that we have. And Tad and I looked at each other and it was like, is he talking about Chip and Dale? Because we were told you don't do any shows about Mickey, Donald, Goofy, or any of the other cast members. And suddenly the CEO of Disney is telling us, use Chip and Dale. I was like, okay. No, we must be idiots, you know. Why didn't we think? So we put Chip and Dale in there, and then all of a sudden it was like, oh, now it's a home run. Go do it, you know. And Tad basically ran that show. I came in to work on the 5-parter movie that they cut together as a teaser. But yeah, that was a fun show. It's one of those things where I worked hard on creating it, and then I had nothing to do with it, and then I had a lot to do with it. It's just, it's things change, hourly. So
Did you have anything to do with the clothing that they gave Chip and Dale? Like, I mean, did they make Dale really look like Magnum PI and Chip like Indiana Jones? Like, was that intentional? Or was that just coincidence?
Let me ask this, okay? I'm going to ask Jason because he's the one who started this whole thing.
It was Andrew's question, and then it just kind of evolved. Okay, all right. Sorry.
I'm talking. Okay.
Apologies.
Okay.
Sorry.
So, can you hear me all right? I can't.
Yeah,
tell.
I can hear you just fine.
Perfect.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. When we were designing the show, we ended up changing a lot of the supporting characters. For instance, Monterey Jack, who's the cheese
The big burly one, right?
burly one,
Yeah.
was actually the cheese sniffing burly one who was Australian in the first go around, and his name was Billabong.
I love
And
that.
and we had a cricket named Chirp Sing, and we had just all these
Wow.
weird characters. So when we changed up the whole cast, we had Chip and Dale and Gadget and other people. God, I don't know. It was a long time ago. And so we actually, I'm not going to say I did it because I'm not the artist, but Tad is an artist, and he drew them up with the leather coat and fedora and the Hawaiian shirt. And at no time did any of us say, that's Magnum PI and that's Indiana Jones.
Never?
Wow.
Well,
Unbelievable.
but
Wow.
it's absolutely true. That's what they're designed after.
And yeah, exactly.
So
That's incredible.
yeah. See, you learn so much when you just listen and don't interrupt. You see how that
You're
works?
right. You're right. You're absolutely right. You know,
I learned a lot. Yeah.
despite my age, I'm never too old to learn. Yeah, that is
Okay, good.
and I appreciate this life lesson. Thank you, Jim. I am
Right.
humbled now. I am
Now,
humbled.
you are humbled. Let's go. Just back up. Wait, let's back up because this says
Sure.
episode 32, a Goofy movie with Jym Magon. So we have
Yes.
to talk about a Goofy movie.
Yes,
So what
and
I
I do have some more stuff for a Goofy movie,
No,
but you know,
no,
no,
it's all right.
no.
We're past that.
Did I lose you already?
Yeah. No,
Oh,
what I was
man.
going to say is, in going through this early material, I realized that the lovely Roxanne, I just adore this girl. She, her last name is Barnston, and nobody ever sees that in the film or hears it. It's in a script,
don't
but
think I
it's
did.
not on screen.
Okay.
And her original name was Dolores Barnston, which is just frumpy as hell. You know?
Dolores, that's bad. That's a bad name for Roxanne.
Yeah. So somebody pointed that out to me, and I said, "How about Roxanne?" You know. So, anyway, now the other thing is that in the script that eventually got produced, you'll notice that it's a father and son story with differing agendas, which is Goofy and Max.
Right.
One is cool and one is klutzy. But we have a mirror image of a father and a son, where the son is just so put upon by his dad, and his dad just has zero emotions for anyone except himself. And we ended up pitting these two pairs against each other on the open road. And people have said to me, well, where's his wife Peg, and where's Pistol, and where's the cat, and where's the dog? And they disappeared because they were drawing focus away from the father-son bonding. Okay. Because I didn't want to, think, oh geez. Where's Peg? Where's Pistol? Anyway. So no, these are things that happen during the creative process because, it sounds like fun, and I know I could do something funny with this. Is it telling the story properly? There's a wonderful story, and you're going to hate me for taking up your time, but there was
Jim, this is your show right now, dude. It's all
We're loving this.
You just tell stories. It's cool.
All right. It says up here with Jym Magon, and that's me. So
that's right. That is you.
Okay. There once was back in the silent movie days, there was a comedian who did okay for himself. His name was Buster Keaton.
Oh yeah, I've heard about that guy.
Buster was a crazy man. He would do things to himself that you wouldn't ever wish on the worst person ever. And, he didn't know it, but he broke his neck doing a stunt, and he almost yanked his arm out doing another stunt. Anyway, so he did all this stuff. And in one of his films, I want to say Steamboat Bill or something. Anyway, he's underwater. He's in a diving suit. Whoa, that's him.
Boom.
Hey, Buster. And he's in a diving suit, and he's obviously in a tank in a studio. And, he's just looking for things to do. Oh, look, a fish went by, blah, blah, blah. And he reaches down and he picks up a starfish that happened to be part of the props of the sequence. And he puts the starfish on his chest like he's a policeman. Right? And then he goes, and he throws it away. Well, that's not in the final film because he said, this is taking away from the action of the point of the scene. I don't want people thinking, oh, he thinks he's a policeman. That's not the point of the scene, So he just cut it. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
No.
It does.
Okay.
I mean, no, in general it doesn't, but I understand what you're saying if that's what you're asking. Yeah.
That reminds me of
No. There was another, a Frenchman. His name was Rodin. Maybe you've heard of him. I don't know. And he carved the Thinker and all these other things. And
Yes.
he was quite the sculptor. And I guess he showed his class some statue he'd made. And they couldn't stop talking about how beautiful the hands were on this statue. So he goes over and he gets a big mallet and he smashes the hands off of the statue. Just breaks it, ruins
We're
the
still
statue.
talking about Buster Keaton here?
No, would you just listen? I'm getting to the God. He busts
She likes
the hand.
Myself.
Okay, I'll
Ladies and
wait.
gentlemen,
until
the
you're
part
done.
of Jason Braden tonight will be played by somebody other than me.
Okay, so he breaks the hands off the statue. Everyone goes, "Oh no, why'd you do that?" He says, "Because I wanted you to look at the statue and all you talked about were the hands. And it took away from the art piece."
Yeah.
Right? So, like the starfish, he discarded it. It's like, get rid of it. It has nothing to do with what I was intending. So, the same thing is true when you're making cartoons, is that it's like people that say, "Oh, this is my first screenplay I've ever written for a movie." How long is it? 400 pages. No. No.
Oh my God.
Go home and cut 300 pages and then we'll talk,
Right.
So the nice thing about working in television and eventually moving to film is that in television, you're stuck with a schedule and you have a network that's saying, we need this show by this date because it screens tomorrow, And so we're just like, everybody's going a mile a minute. And basically, because of that timetable, if the writer writes something and the storyboard artist draws something, and then we ship it overseas and they animate it, it's like we don't really have time to say, let's finesse this and we'll blah, blah, right?
Yeah.
So a lot of things end up on the television that weren't necessarily there. Most of the time, though, in television, if you write it, it gets made. That's wonderful. If you're making a movie and you write it, somebody else reworks it. The artists go crazy, and it's like, oh, they made my script so much better. That was a new experience for me. So I know I told. No, wait. I know I told the story last time, so just bear with me.
Yeah, of course.
It was. This is terrible. I think it was Groucho Marx was talking to. Oh, who's the writer? Anyway, comedy writer. And they're in the lobby and they're chatting, and on stage, they're performing some of the scenes of an upcoming film, because that's the way they would test their audience. They couldn't film it and then show it and then say, right? So the play's going on, everything is going great. And then suddenly this playwright stops. He says, wait. And he listens. He says, I think I heard something I wrote. Which is shocking. It's like, oh my God, I wrote that. Why is it still in the show? And I think that's what we do as writers, is that we know we're all important, and we also know that everything we write ends up at the bottom of a bird cage. So
Pardon me. I'm answering a text. I apologize. Shame on me. I have failed in this episode. Leia, Thomas, you guys take over. I'm just gonna go ahead and
well, I had a note
bury
to
myself
make.
in my phone here.
No worries.
All right, wait a second. Leia, I want to hear from you. But Thomas sounded like he had something to say.
I was just
And
gonna
I don't
say,
want him to feel left out.
I've been told not to say the word aspiring, but I'm an aspiring. Okay, I'm a screen actor. No, I'm not a screen actor yet, but I will be. And but I also have gone to school for for screenwriting, so I'm used to the like, okay, you need to cut this entire scene out because it doesn't make sense, or like, why are there so many? My guilty pleasure is putting too many characters in a scene, so I'm often told like cut half your cast, which is really hard for me, but I'm trying.
Well, I think the same is true even with a Goofy movie. I go back and say, who's this character? Where did all these people come from? Who put this? Oh, I did that. You know.
There was a lot of characters in the movie, though. Lots. I mean, not everybody had like speaking roles, but a lot of just background characters. And I mean, even in the scene where they had the, they stopped at the, what is it? The possum park, right? So
yes,
Lester's Possum Park. That's actually something that I wanted to talk about because when I was watching the scene, I had memories of Country Bear Jamboree.
Oh yeah.
Duh.
Is that what it was inspired from?
Jason,
or was it more like a Chuck E. Cheese kind of a thing?
No, Jason, just listen real quickly.
Oh my God, here we go again.
Duh. That's Chuck E. Cheese. You haven't had to go to all these stupid birthday parties with your little kids and have to listen to this.
What? How dare you, sir?
Okay.
So yes, Chuck E. Cheese? Yeah?
Yeah.
All right. That makes sense.
No, you're right. Actually, it was fashioned after something that belonged to Disney called the Country Bear Jamboree.
Ah, okay.
Right?
Oh, that's
I
interesting.
never know what to believe with you.
Well,
just like an internet search.
Well, let me. Okay. You don't want to. If you don't want my stories, then you don't ask me.
No, I do want your story.
I'm just going to look over here for a while.
Well, you look over there for a while. I'm going to look on my phone, and Leah and Thomas, they can just talk to each other.
Okay, Leah's turn.
Okay.
Well, you mentioned something, and I thought it was one of the most. I loved this part of the film that it started with Pete, because you said like it was a mirror of Goofy and Max and Pete and PJ, and I always loved it throughout the film. I thought it was a really one of the more glues that held the story together on the growth, because in the beginning when Pete is telling Goofy at the photo taking little shop, he says nothing like the great outdoors to strengthen the bond, and he slaps this glue on the little girl's diaper and puts her down, and it actually signifies how he's going to be treating PJ. And like when he has PJ knock down the bowling pin, and he's like, good job, son, and he's like, oh, and PJ is like so let down that his dad is being a jerk to him.
Yeah, Jim Cummings says, psych, and it,
and it shows that like Goofy and Max may have some bonding trouble, but it's not something where Goofy's disrespecting his son. And like one more compliment, when he is trying to cause trouble between Goofy and Max because he sees that they're actually getting along, and it's like something that him and PJ don't have. I love that they actually showed for the first time that Goofy is sharp, and he saw what Pete was up to, and for the first time Goofy's actually serious, but it didn't take you out of his character. And
who are you talking to?
Me?
Who's in the background?
No, nobody's here.
I hear voices, but I don't know where it's coming from. It's not from my booth. I assure you, I'm the only one in here.
It's
Thomas just went on mute. Maybe it's just some background noise where he's at, which is sorry for the interruption there.
You think it's me? Okay, fine.
No.
Where'd you go, Thomas?
Where did you go?
So I've got some pointers I listed down here. They were like kind of like lessons that we gain from a Goofy movie, like maybe life lessons, morals. Tell me if you agree with these or not, because there's tons, right? There's tons of them in the movie. There's so many things that people can take away from them. And the first one that I kind of came up with was like, don't underestimate the little guy. And I'm talking about Max, because everybody in the beginning is picking on him, right? He's like the nerd and everything, but then he does the power line move, and Roxanne sees like, oh my God, this is so cool and everything like that. Now I know it's not what she fell in love with,
Yeah.
But he impresses everybody in the school, and he starts getting a reputation from it. He stepped outside of the box. He did something, that made him uncomfortable, and it succeeded. So
Yeah.
that's what I'm saying. Don't underestimate the little guy. And the other one was dare to step out of your own comfort zone.
Yeah.
I kind of like that.
Well, you're absolutely on the money, because when we start to talk about the truths of human relationships, truths about the world we live in and whatnot, you look at Max, and again, you have to remember that Goofy Movie is riding on the history of Goof Troop, which was 65 episodes of Goofy and Max just messing everything up. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
So in this particular movie, originally it was like, oh, Max really wants to go on this gigantic water slide in Hawaii. What? Yeah, I wrote that. So it turns out that actually the thing that is driving Max is he's totally infatuated with Roxanne.
Mhm.
And he doesn't want her to go with Chad to the party. And he says, I'm going to the concert. I'll wave to you. He's just making stuff up. And to me, I don't know about you guys, Leah, I don't know if you were ever a teenage boy, but
Once upon a time ago, yeah.
okay, right. Is that you remember that time when it was just like, oh my God, she threw an apple at me. She must love me, that kind of thing. And it just, I think it really strikes home to a lot of people what it's like to have puppy love, to be infatuated with someone. And I thought that was a really good arc for him. And the reason he wants to go to the concert is not because he thinks Powerline is so great. I mean, everybody thinks Powerline is great. It's just that's not his main goal. He wants to impress Roxanne by saying, I'm going to the concert, which isn't true at all. It's a complete lie.
It wasn't enough that he put on that whole show. He had to go further.
Yeah, that
Exactly.
makes sense.
And again, I don't know if you remember this, but the day that he does that dance at school is the last day of school before summer.
Right.
Yeah.
Anybody remember this?
Yes.
After today.
Yeah, exactly. What have I got to lose, So
speaking of that song, after today, right?
Yeah.
There's actually a part in there that I don't know. Did you realize that you are actually in that song, Jim?
Yes.
You do realize that?
I'm not going to repeat it.
Oh, you don't need to, because I have it right here.
You can do it.
Yeah, go ahead. Ready?
No more Jim, no more Jim, no more Jim. Yeah, no more Jim.
Oh, no more Jim. You're joking.
Turn that up for those who actually didn't hear it.
No more Jim, no more Jim.
No more Jim.
But I have to tell you, I'm no part of that. I didn't write the song.
No, I didn't think so.
Put that in there. But I remember going up to Kevin Lima after the film came out, and I said, I think it's interesting that you and Brian are both in the movie. You can see them sitting next to each other.
Oh, they draw themselves in or whatever?
Oh, yeah. Actually, you know exactly who they are.
Yeah.
And I said, and thanks so much for not putting me in the movie. And he says, oh, yeah, we did. And you got to remember, this is just off the top of his head. He said, yeah, the scene where they fling their jock straps and they go, no more Jim, 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 no more Jim. Yeah, that was, a lot of people admire me so much because of that.
I don't know why that stuck out, but I knew I had to include it as a question. I was actually going to use that as your outro at the end of the episode here, but
yep.
We kind of started getting into that song, and I'm like, nah, it's a perfect segue.
Yeah, exactly. But sorry, I could sit here and just bend your ear about all kinds of inconsequential nonsense, but I know what you're looking for is the really heavy duty important stuff, and I don't have any stories for that.
No, that's okay because we actually
Loving
have
it,
we
Dan.
do have a
Seriously.
question in the audience, and I want to make sure I address as many as I can here. Steve says that because he actually does a podcast as well, and they do trivia. And the question is, when we were doing the trivia game for Goofy Movie, we couldn't get a solid answer. What was Goofy's license plate number? Are you able to answer this? Because I'm not really familiar with what he's referring
No,
to.
I'm not. I can tell you what Donald Duck's license plate number is, but I can't tell you Goofy's.
Well, hit us up with that knowledge. What is Donald Duck's license plate?
Donald is 313.
313?
Yeah.
But
Okay.
is there a meaning behind it? There's always meanings behind that kind of stuff.
Yeah, it's usually like when his first cartoon appeared in theaters, like March 13th or something.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah.
So
Sorry, Steve, we let you down there, buddy.
Yeah. Now, also what's interesting, and I know this comes up in trivia sometimes, and I'm guilty of not knowing this as well. If I had the scripts here and I could hold them up and show them to you, it would say on the title page, Goofy Movie. Goofy Movie, okay? That's not what it's called. It's called a Goofy Movie.
A Goofy Movie.
It's not just a movie. It's a Goofy Movie, okay?
Right.
I didn't even know that. I had to be told that by somebody else. But it makes sense, you know, because it says Walt Disney presents a movie.
And then yep.
I love it so much.
Oh, I know. And I have to tell you that I left Disney in the very end of 1993, and the movie didn't come out until 95. And, you know, by then I had worked on dozen other projects for other studios and whatnot. And they were going to screen this in Santa Monica. Okay, fine. Did I get an invite? Yes, I did. Yay for me. So my wife and I go down there, we park the car, we go in, and here's everybody, you know, the artists and the cast and the perfect cast. And they're, you know, we're all just like, oh boy, this is going to be fun. And they screen the film, and I haven't seen much of it. I've seen maybe some animatics. You know what those are, where they'll animate just a sequence in pencil.
Oh,
yeah.
Okay.
They're usually made up from storyboard drawings.
Correct.
Yeah.
Correct.
Yeah.
So I did not have the full-blown, full-color film in my head. You know, this was all new to me. And it was like, wow, this is good, you know. And it was just kind of embarrassing because it's like saying, hey, look, we made this baby and it turned out pretty good, you know. Who takes credit for that, you know?
Yeah.
So anyway, so yeah, I was very tickled by it. And of course there were a lot of things that was like, oh, I don't remember that. Well, why did they cut Paco's water park? And, you know, it was just like back and forth. And I realized they had to do so much work to get this film accomplished, let alone released. You know, they were going to scrap it. They were going to put it on TV. There were all kinds of bad ideas. And part of the reason that nobody was really backing this is that this was the brainchild of Jeffrey Katzenberg. And Jeffrey Katzenberg wasn't there anymore. He was gone. The only person who cared about this movie wasn't there anymore. So it was completely an uphill battle for Kevin and his team to get this movie made. Plus, they animated in France, Australia, I don't know, 4 or 5 other countries. You know, it was made everywhere. And then it came back and somebody said, well, let's glue it together and see what we got. And I got to tell you, I was really impressed with it. And, yeah, I'm a genius. I'll pat myself on. No,
Well, I mean,
Rightfully.
what they went through is phenomenal, and I'm
Yeah.
so proud of them.
But do you agree sometimes that, I mean, I've seen other documentaries like this. I haven't watched the one for the Goofy movie yet, but I now that you've mentioned it, I really do want to see it. I've watched other documentaries like things like from Caddyshack and from Jaws, where just like so many things went south. Like
Right?
they just thought that this was going to be a failure, and it ended up being just a total box office success.
Yeah.
And having such a big fan following. So do you agree that like sometimes even like the ones that people think are the disasters behind the scene can have a completely different outcome?
All right. I gave this speech a little earlier today to my family.
Mm-hmm.
I said, starting with Snow White, Walt wanted to make feature films, made a bunch of them. Got on Jungle Book. Walt didn't make it all the way through that. I don't think. That's about when he died.
Mm-hmm.
And then they've made tons more, great stuff. But I can remember seeing these ads, coming soon to a theater near you, Beauty and the Beast, an instant classic. It's like, you don't get to call your own crap classic. That's for the audience to decide. That's for the critics to decide. You can't call what you did a classic,
right? Because it's
That's a
already
good
been a
point.
story. It's already been a story. Now they did a good job with what they did, but not original.
So I said, and nowhere will you ever see a Goofy movie in the list of Disney classics, because it wasn't animated by classic Disney animators,
Yeah, whatever.
Whatever.
No, but what I have to say is the film that came out the same year as a Goofy movie in '95 was Pocahontas. Have you guys seen that?
We not only have seen it, we've actually had the voice of Pocahontas on our show.
It's my favorite Disney movie.
It is?
It is. Yeah.
Okay. All right.
Wait, no, give your thoughts. I'm on to Eddie.
No, I'm just smiling.
Okay. I can tell.
No, here's the thing.
Can you stop?
Please. No, the thing is that when you go to Disney World or the Disney Store or Disneyland and you go into their gift shop, and there's Goofy movie figures, Goofy movie t-shirts, sweaters, dolls, blankets, all this Goofy movie stuff. And I rarely see anything having to do with Pocahontas, which is a classic, by the way. That movie's a classic. Okay.
And I don't know, I forget who I was talking about this with recently. All the live action remakes they were talking about, they still haven't mentioned anything about that movie. And it is part of the Disney Renaissance era. So how have they not talked about actually remaking that film yet?
I think it's
they're
history.
afraid. I think
Yeah.
they're afraid.
I don't know. I thought they did, but
we digress, folks. We digress. Okay, we got a couple more questions, and then we'll probably go for a wrap pretty soon. I hope we're not taking up too much of your evening here, Jim. I know it's a little bit later
hold on.
than it is for us.
Oh, it's so late. It's miserable.
Well,
Wait a second. Where are you again?
We are in California. Actually, Thomas and I are in California. Leia's probably in your time zone, I think. You're central, right?
Leia?
You're central time?
You're Wisconsin 9:20 right now.
You're in Wisconsin?
Wisconsin. Yeah. Hear my Yukari accent?
I have relatives in Wisconsin.
You do? Hey.
And they're crazy. Okay. Yeah. Wisconsin, the serial killer state. No,
it really is. What part of Wisconsin are they from?
I don't know. It's just a vast wasteland, Or as some people say, it's only a half-assed wasteland. Half-assed?
Is that what some people say?
Pretty parts of Wisconsin.
I'm from Michigan, so don't talk to me about miserable places.
We're rivals.
Jason. I know. Jason, you,
yes, sir.
You and Thomas and I are in the heart of the entertainment industry.
Yes.
The heart? No, I am not in the heart. Thomas
Where
is
are you?
closer than I live in Oakland, California.
That's
Oakland
close
is not the
enough.
heart of the entertainment industry. Not
No,
one.
you're
Not
much
with the stuff
closer.
I see out on the streets. I'm sorry.
No, Leo would kill herself in order to be in Oakland, California. Right?
I really okay. No, I love California. I was born there, so the little part of my heart is there. Yeah.
Okay.
Sacramento though, so far away from.
That's
Yes,
all right.
far away
Now,
from all the
Thomas,
the
where
gritty
are
grime
you
of Oakland.
right now?
Well, I'm in Anaheim right now, so
You're really close.
really
Very
close.
close. Yes.
I think I said this before. Say, Jim, how would you like to work on a Roger Rabbit?
There you go. I had to squeeze it in somehow. What do you think of that?
Right now, I would write Jeffrey Dahmer's, comedy show.
Fortune cookies, maybe?
Yeah, of course I would work on it. Yeah.
Okay, and then
But
right
I have
along
to-
the lines of, oh, sorry, apologies.
Is there a
There's
story
another one on
genre
the-
that you haven't written for that you would like to? Oh.
Yeah, that's Andrew's question.
Yeah, I can't say it, because people will have me in prison. And no,
Hey, if you're still going on the Jeffrey Dahmer line, true crime is really still popular.
I know.
Why not? Right?
Why not?
Why not?
No, what I was going to say, since you brought up Anaheim, blessed Anaheim, and I think I mentioned this last time I was on your show, that we had put together a show for the Tomorrowland stage called a-hyuck.
Yes.
It was there for one summer, I don't know, 8 weeks, something, I don't know. And a lot of people that saw it adore it. And people that haven't seen it say, why do I know that name? So it's kind of this big, spooky, weird entertainment thing that was foisted on the Disneyland, people. There it is.
Now appearing nightly, Monday through Friday at Disneyland, Tomorrowland stage, summer
Right.
1981.
And I don't think you can see it there because it's not big enough. But I think that was painted by John Alvin, who did a lot of movie posters for professional movies, and we asked him to do that. So
It's a very good drawing.
Wait
very,
a second.
Very Star Wars-ish. Wait, I got to do this.
Well, yeah, duh. Wait a second. Duh.
Wait a second. Duh.
Well, it's weird because we had no names for these characters. They were just, there's the singer and there's the keyboard guy.
Mm-hmm.
But it's like that big furry character playing the bass.
Uh-huh.
We called him the Wookiee, but he wasn't a Wookiee. He was of a harness. So was it Star Wars?
For those that missed it, then there's the Wookiee right there. Yeah.
Yeah.
With lasers shooting out of their guitar and bass.
Right. And one of the things that, if you ever have time to spare, there is a great documentary about a-hyuck online.
Okay.
That's all I'm going to say. And it's
you said don't interrupt, so I was waiting.
No. No, I was. Jesus. I'm here trying to make you guys look good, and it's just not working. Anyway, yeah. So,
hello, Manny.
What?
Sorry, Manny just joined the show.
Oh,
we got some latecomers. That's all.
Hi, bye. Okay.
Hi, bye. No, yeah, there he is. Right there. Manny.
So we were hi. We were very pleased that we got to create this space-themed rock and roll band, and we were very lucky to have Mike Post, who scored lots of TV shows, Hill Street Blues and Greatest American Hero,
Yes.
and he wrote a song called "Believe It or Not, I'm Walking on Air. I never thought I." Okay.
I know it well.
So Mike was the producer of the show, and oh my gosh, we had fireworks and machines driving around, and it was quite a it was quite a show. And I fully understand now that I've been around the sun 75 times that why Disneyland Entertainment were not happy with this show. And the reason was it had a really strong fan base who only came there to watch the band, and they weren't buying food and sitting on rides.
Right.
Oh, that makes sense then.
Yeah.
Don't put a show on and God. Anyway.
Yep. No, that
So-
makes, I mean, in the Disney corporate sense, that makes perfect sense.
Absolutely. Yeah.
Yeah, because it all boils down to dollars and cents, right?
And I
It's-
have no sense.
Because you're always losing it, right? Losing your sense. No more questions in the chat, but you know what? Almost
But
every show, not usually the one with special guests like yourself, I have trivia. Now, I wrote one
42.
question.
Oh, okay.
Oh, that is the answer, right?
Yeah, I know.
To everything, life,
Yeah,
universe,
the universe and everything.
everything.
The problem is, what's the question?
That is exactly correct.
Exactly,
What is the
right,
question?
right.
So,
All right.
the question, and you know what? It's actually really funny that you answered 42 because the question is related to a question that was asked in the Goofy movie, and I think you're nodding your head. I think you know what's coming here. And the only trivia question that I wrote for this particular episode is, how many cups of sugar does it take to get to the moon?
I know.
Now, nobody on the screen answered. I want to see if anybody in our audience can actually write the correct answer. Steve says, "Hey, Manny, that's not the right answer."
Oh, that's wrong.
Now, if you said how many, then yeah, maybe it's getting there.
How
but-
many? Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. And while we're waiting for people to answer, I'm going to keep that question up on the screen. I wanted to kind of like lightning round a few other things that I actually wrote down.
Sure.
Kind of cool about the Goofy movie. Just my own, words of wisdom, like end of Jerry Springer thoughts, So
Don't hit him with the chair.
oh yeah, definitely. I'm hitting you all with the chair. All right, so listen to your parents, no matter how goofy they are. All right. Family time is precious.
Mm-hmm.
Ignorance can be blissful, but it's also dangerous. So watch your step. Telling the embarrassing truth hurts less than admitting to a lie. I like that one.
That's a really good one.
Okay.
Learning the perfect cast can catch a Bigfoot if you use steak for bait. That's an important lesson. So if you guys are ever camping and you have a fishing rod and you know how to do the perfect cast and you have a big old ribeye, you could catch a Bigfoot. And then the very last one that I wrote down, which I think is also very important and related to Bigfoot, is that disco soothes the savage beast.
Yes.
Bee Gees,
Because
especially.
And I have-
Bee Gees specifically, that's
I
right,
have to-
staying alive.
I have to tell you, that came completely out of thin air, because when I first saw the movie, and here's Bigfoot way off in the distance, out through the back window of the car, doing this. Dun, 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 dun.
He's just background noise at that point.
I
It
thought I
so
was going to
funny.
wet myself. It's like
Yes.
when people hear the Bee Gees, they do that,
Yeah. You got to do this and that. And he's got the headphones on and everything. And
Oh, that's the best part. Yeah.
yeah.
Oh, and then he puts those tidy whities on his head.
Underwear.
Oh man.
Oh my God.
Nope.
Okay, folks.
You'll
If you
win.
have never seen the Goofy movie, if anybody's listening or watching and for some reason, for some odd, strange reason, you found this podcast and you found this episode and
Yeah.
you still have not watched a Goofy movie.
Shame
and
on you.
And you need to laugh. Watch it. It is medicine for the soul. You have to
It's a
watch
good
it.
film. What
Yes.
what I will say is, when it came out in '95 at the theaters, it was like, okay, I
Mhm.
mean, it was not a thing. It was like, oh, Disney has another cartoon out. Okay. And then there was this technology called VHS, Beta, you know, and
Home
it was
movies, home theater.
yeah. And then it was like the kids would do this and they'd sit there for an hour and a half and then back it up and watch it again.
That's
I
right.
have had so many people
I
come
was
up to
one of
me,
those kids.
come up to me at fan conventions and say, "Oh my God, I love that film. It's like my favorite film. I watched it 1,000 times." You know, and I'm just so touched that, you know, people are getting something out of this film.
That's
Because,
awesome.
you know, originally it was just going to be like an extended Goof Troop episode, you know, with a lot of nonsense in there. And it actually has a lot of depth to it. And, it, you know, there are no dragons or flying
Just big feet.
schlemazzles. Well, Bigfoot, yeah, but
Big feet and robotic possums that are broken on stage.
Well, that's
our nightmare fuel.
the other thing I was going to say in regards to your trivia question.
Mm-hmm.
The line I originally wrote, because I think everybody has a story about a roommate who's dead asleep, and then they wake up and say something so outrageously wrong that it just is hilarious. And one story that someone offered was this guy leapt out of bed and said, run from the mountain people. And I don't know what it means, but it obviously meant something to him. And and the one that I used to use, let's see if I know. I was working with these brothers, and the one goes into the bedroom and says to his sleeping brother, "I'm going to go take a bike ride around the neighborhood." Okay. And the other brother goes, that's it, you know. Off the one brother goes, he rides all around, and he comes back, I don't know, an hour or two later, and the sleeping guy says, "Where's my brother?" He said, "Oh, well, he's out riding his bike, like he told you." He said, "He never told me anything." And they got into a fight over this. And it's like, don't talk to me when I'm asleep, you know, that kind of thing. So
but so that was
me, but I was like, okay.
That was the original one. So what? So, but I mean, it eventually ended up being how many cups of sugar does it take to get to the moon?
To get to the moon? Yeah, and right. I think that came from Kevin Lima.
Okay, that's a good one. Because Max, I think, is like he's in the process of redrawing the map so that they can get to Los Angeles for the Powerline concert. So,
yeah, exactly.
And Goofy wakes up and Max is like terrified, and then Goofy just asks the question and he just goes right back to sleep.
Yeah, exactly.
And okay, so we're gonna get to the answers here. So Odie says 1.1 billion. That's incorrect.
Correct.
Manny says approximately 4,750. Close.
Closer, yeah.
Yeah, Patricia says according to how much you spread it out. We can maybe accept that.
Patricia Gilliam. Okay.
Yes, she's our number one fan. She's like amazing. On every episode. And my father is like my number one fan. I have lots of number one fans. You know, they love this show, and I can't blame them.
Yeah. I can't blame them either. Wonderful.
Let's see. Steve says a spoonful. Wait, wrong movie. Yeah, that's not a spoonful. But you know what? Actually, Jason from Signs of Amusement gave the correct answer, which is 3.5.
3.5 cups of sugar.
3.5. Yes, exactly.
3.5.
Way to go, Steve.
That's the answer. Yeah. That
is the answer.
He says, "How many cups of sugar does it take to get to the moon?" And Max just looks at him like, "What in the hell?"
Yeah.
And then he says, 3.5.
Right. And then Goofy falls asleep.
Doesn't mean anything.
I know, but it's just perfect. It was perfect. Alrighty. Steve says Jason cheats. Different Jason. Yeah. Signs of Amusement is also his name is also Jason. Yeah.
Everybody.
He says yes, I did cheat. Wow, he admits it too.
Yeah. Well, the interesting thing is that a lot of people. Yeah, he's right. A lot of people named Jason are not very reputable. That's all I'm going to say.
Gonna leave it at that.
Yeah, just Jason. Yeah. You know, when you're at a party and they say, "Oh, hi, this is Jym Magon. Hi. Oh, and this is Jason."
Oh, wow. All right. Well, you know what? I think that's the perfect place to stop the show for tonight. I've taken enough abuse from this guy.
Listen,
No.
we barely talked about anything decent, so I'll be
come
on for your third episode.
Of course you will be. I can't not have you back on. Oh, but you know what, Jim? We are gonna stop. We are gonna end the show very soon, but not before talking about what you told us backstage before we started the live show.
Yes.
You said that you were going to be doing something soon. Why don't you go ahead and tell our audience members what you've been asked to do?
Well, this is from a text. Can you see my phone? Okay.
No.
It's from a guy named Kevin Lima.
Oh, and that guy.
Kevin's are kind of nice usually. I named my son Kevin, so it's okay. He says, "Hello, Jim. Hope all is well with you. It's been quite a year for a Goofy movie, 30 years, and it ain't over yet." Two things. The Not Just a Goof filmmakers asked me to reach out to you about doing an interview for an extra short for the Blu-ray release. Okay. I suggested they interview a few who they didn't interview before to widen the perspective. Are you interested? That's point one. Point two, second, I'm doing a panel at Lightbox this October 24th through the 26th entitled The Story Evolution of a Goofy Movie, from Script to Story Reels. And I'd love for you to join the conversation. Are you up for it? You, Brian Pimentel, and a couple of storyboard artists, and I'll host. Let me know. Could be fun to reminisce. Okay. Then I wrote back, Kevin, you are the man. Did I spell that right?
Dumb man? Right? Yes.
You are
dumb
man. You're a dumbass man. Okay. The answer is yes to both suggestions. I am truly honored. A Goofy Movie is a deserved classic, and that's mainly because of you and Brian. As you know, I was pulled from the project just as you were gearing up. So all of your travails were unknown to me. You are a brave and tenacious chap, and I salute you. Thanks for your courage and talent. So,
wow.
Thank you. So
I have to tell you, I'm tickled.
You've answered, right?
Oh, did I?
Did you answer?
Well, when I say yes, absolutely, does that count as a yes? Okay.
Yeah. Thank you so much for that. That is incredible. I'm so happy. I was tickled to hear you say that even before, and I feel even more overjoyed now to hear that. That is so awesome. So, yeah, we will have to bring you back because you're going to have to talk about your experiences at the expo. You're going to have to talk about it. You're going to have to talk about that. We'll have to talk about the Blu-ray DVD.
Yeah. And
do a whole nother episode again.
No, absolutely. And there is a rather lengthy videotape of the reunion, 25th year reunion of a Goofy Movie at D23 back in 2015, I think. Yeah. You can watch the whole episode, which is a lot of fun. And we need to completely deconstruct that as well.
Okay. We could do that all. We should be able to do all of that in one episode, don't you think? We might be able to. We might. It's worth a shot. It's worth a shot.
Yeah.
Jim, dude, I mean, thank you. I mean, this has been a lot of fun. The first one was a lot of fun. I had more fun this time than I had on our last episode. Despite all the bad hosting that I did and interruptions and everything, I really need to work on that. I need to work on that, seriously. I apologize to all my fans out there.
I think Leah and Thomas should take over now.
They have. They have before.
No.
Whenever I go to Disneyland,
Jason,
they take over.
No, Jason, just go lock yourself in the bathroom and.
Not again. Not like this. No, not like this.
That scary place.
Don't make me sit in here.
I'll just be over here in the corner like
Yeah.
No,
Anyway,
but in all seriousness,
I've had so much fun, and
Thank you.
a lot of
Same.
people have interviewed me over the years, and some of them are kind of cut and dry, but you guys are so much fun, and
You are too, Jim.
I keep thinking of things that I want to say and that will get me arrested.
Sorry, that was a little loud. Apologies. There,
That's
is that a little better? Okay.
Yeah.
And I interrupted again, didn't I?
Jeez.
It's the audience interrupting.
No, exactly. So here's the meaning to life, and then Jason interrupts and
right.
turn off the.
I can't even let you finish a compliment to me to all of us, right? Yeah, I know that's horrible.
Well, listen, we need to find a place geographically that's we could all get to easily, like somewhere in the Mojave Desert,
Area 51.
Well, you guys are a lot of fun, and I would love to come back if there's ever anything,
please,
or anyone I can turn you on to. Please let me know. And,
well, hey, you know what? If you ever come across Mr. Jim Cummings in your conversations, or anybody else from the movie, and you happen to say I was on this really great show, I think you guys would have a good time.
No,
hello.
He doesn't like people named Jason either. So.
I actually met Jim last year. He's a really cool guy, but he's also very, very, very busy, and I know he's got his own show too. So,
yep.
And Andrew says, hope to see or chat with you in the not so distant future.
Terrific.
So,
By the way, I'm going to be at a convention.
Oh, yes.
Which I haven't been to in a long time. In Burbank, and I think it's called the Burbank Comic Convention.
Okay.
And that's in early September, I think.
Okay.
And I don't know what to expect, because this is through an agency, a talent agency that lines up guests for conventions. And so I don't know. I mean, every time I look at a new convention.
Is Mickey trying to tell you something?
Yeah, get off the phone. Yeah. Sorry.
It's okay.
I don't know what the hell I was saying. I interrupted myself.
The convention.
You were talking about the Burbank
Comic Con.
Oh yeah, at Burbank Comic Con. Yeah. And so I don't know what to expect yet, because it could be just stand there and wave. I don't know.
Sure.
But usually I have a table and I sign things and I whatever. So
that's how we met.
Yeah.
Is that how we met?
That is how we met. We met at a MouseCon in Concord, California.
Yeah,
about like 5 years ago.
Was that 5 years ago?
It was
Jason?
longer.
4.
It was longer.
That was 4 years ago.
Was it 4?
Yeah, Irene Bedard was there.
Yep. Yeah. And that's you were there for that one too, Leia.
Yeah.
All I wanted to say is Sha, which is California for Sha.
Yeah.
Okay. Right. Well, thanks again.
Yeah, thank you, Jim. And yeah, everybody, make sure if you're in the Burbank area and you happen to be going to that convention, check out Jim and say hello. If you've enjoyed this show, which you must have, because I had a blast. Leia and Thomas, I'm hoping you guys had a wonderful time.
Oh, I'm on cloud 11. Yeah.
11.
Wow.
Not 9, 11.
That's high.
Skipped 8 and 9 and 10 and just went straight to 11. That's awesome.
I'm very high right now.
That's great.
Thomas, you're killing me. You're killing me. You've been so quiet. It's like, which is great.
He's a listener. He's a
I know.
I try to be a good student of.
Are you training anywhere?
Serious?
No, tell me the truth.
Training anywhere? No.
Okay, fine.
Like training, like what? Lifting weights?
Yes, exactly. That's what I meant. God, Jason.
I'm training as an actor.
He wants to be a movie actor, and you say he's training with weights.
I just graduated with my bachelor's degree in theater. So
Good.
yeah.
There you go.
Congratulations, Thomas.
Thank
That's
you.
huge.
Congrats,
And
Thomas. That's
my
awesome.
wife has a theater major as well. So
Fantastic. Well,
Patricia,
awesome.
hi and bye.
thank you. Have a great night, she says. Yes, definitely. We will have a
You're
great night. We've
welcome.
had a great night.
you,
We will
Patricia.
continue to have a great night. Jim, pleasant dreams. Until next time. We've
I
loved
will
having
paint-
you on, and we can't wait to have you on again.
Okay, I'm going to paint the wall for next time.
That's a good idea. Maybe put a mural up there or something like that. It's a little dull.
Yeah. I think Thomas has got the right background.
Yeah, definitely.
But
Definitely.
Leah's got, what does that say? Something about sandy feet or?
Oh yeah.
Something in sandy feet. Yeah.
It says peace, love, and sandy feet. It's a beach towel, but I think it's pretty art. Like, I love it. Yeah. Jim, I have a question for you real quick. You mentioned that you do writing classes. Do you have a place where a person can sign up for that?
Bless your heart. It's odd because I've had, a tiny handful of people ask me that, and it's like, maybe, I don't know. Because I've taught at UCLA and I've taught in Barcelona and Finland and Australia. So
Wow.
I am a tune god, so yeah. I tell you what, Leah, you have
Sorry, not putting that up to distract you. I'm just making sure everybody
no,
gets heard.
yeah,
that's all.
sure. No,
Yeah.
I was going to say you have my information, and pry it out of
Yeah.
Jason's fingers and contact me.
Yeah, I might do the same.
Thank you, Jim. I look
What?
forward to that.
Oh, I would.
You've
No,
opened up the
honestly.
floodgates now, buddy. It's too late.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
All right, guys. Have a wonderful night. Leah, Thomas, thanks again for being my wonderful co-host and
yeah,
contributing so much to the show. Jim, thanks again. I can't thank you enough, buddy. I mean, this is always such a good time. And can't wait
We all
to
saw eye to eye
see ya.
tonight.
What's
You
that?
did what?
We all saw eye to eye
We
tonight.
all saw. She had to put that in there,
I
didn't
had
she?
to.
Yeah, that hurt, I bet.
Well,
You're right.
the guy that wrote Powerline songs were different than the guys that wrote the Goofy and Max songs.
Mhm.
Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Yes.
So
Of
when
course.
they sing
Oh,
"On the
yep,
Open
yep.
Road" and everything, that was a pair of songwriters, and then the sort of hip, Powerline stuff was written by someone else.
Yeah,
And I think it all kind of works. So yeah.
definitely.
Definitely.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
All right.
All right,
Well,
for the
I'll
third
say
time,
goodbye
let's
for
say
the-
goodnight. Third time is the charm. Thanks, everybody, for watching and having a wonderful time with us. We're glad that you're joining us tonight. Next Tuesday, 6 p.m. Pacific time, we will be joined by Signs of Amusement, another fun Disney-related podcast where we will be doing a collaboration team-up to celebrate the 70th anniversary of the Disneyland park. So we're going to be just
Fun.
talking about the history of Disneyland, just the fun stuff that we do at Disneyland. And you can shake your head all you want, Jim. It is my home away from home, and I can never stop talking about it. It is just my heart. Disneyland is my heart. But for tonight, everybody here has my heart and my thanks and my heartfelt appreciation. And I hope to see you guys next week. Have a great night, everybody, and enjoy the rest of your week. Jim says love. Bye-bye. Bye-bye. Thank you for tuning in to another fun-filled episode of Main Gate Magic. We hope you enjoyed the show. It's been our pleasure bringing a little Disney magic into your life. Please remain seated while the show comes to a complete stop, keeping your hands, arms, feet, and legs inside the podcast at all times. For more information about upcoming episodes, please make sure to follow, like, and subscribe on Instagram, Facebook, TikTok, and YouTube. You are now free to exit the show. Please watch your step, and be sure to tune in next week for more Main Gate Magic. Bye-bye.